Nikki Haley, the spirit animal of Israel and the United States. Why is it that she is being paraded around as a champion of human rights? You can find out on this episode today. I'm Jared White, and this is JNEWS. Hey everybody, glad you tuned in today. I got a great show for you. Really excited. We're going to be talking about Nikki Haley and her most recent actions with the United Nations. But as always, question of the day. What do you think of Saudi Arabia being part of the Human Rights Council? Let us know in the comment section below what you think. So, to the real part of our show today. So, Nikki Haley has been in the news a lot about a lot of her actions in the United Nations. We're going to talk about two things today. One, how Nikki Haley vetoed a resolution to condemn Israel for the Gaza border riots, and how she also pushed for an amendment to condemn Hamas. And two, Nikki Haley pulling out of the Human Rights Council, which is huge. So let's go ahead and dive into this. So the UN General Assembly put up for a vote a resolution to condemn Israel for their actions at the Gaza border riot, which they were shooting protesters, and by protesters I mean terrorists. 50 of the 62 people killed were Hamas, and a few others were part of other terrorist organizations. But that aside, I put up for a vote to condemn Israel. Now, what happened? Now, the vote got 120 yes, 8 no's, and 45 abstains. The United States obviously voted against this condemnation. The UN General Assembly pushes out resolutions that condemn Israel every Wednesday. It's not a big deal. What the real big deal is that Nikki Haley came out and proposed an amendment to that resolution, which would condemn Hamas for their actions at the Gaza border riot. This isn't a surprise from Nikki Haley. She has said repeatedly that Israel is called out unjustly all the time. They're singled out when clearly it's a more complicated issue. Nikki Haley brings up this amendment, though, to condemn Hamas, and something really special happens. 62 people voted for this amendment. Now, that's not enough to get the two-thirds majority needed in order to pass the amendment or put it in with the resolution. But 62 votes is still a lot, considering, remember the number we just looked at a minute ago, 120 to 8 to 45. Those 45 people actually voted for something. Nikki Haley came out as a champion for Israel and for human rights, and people actually backed her. That's an amazing feat by itself. And I'm really happy that the UN decided to side with Nikki Haley, or at least some of its members decided to side with Nikki Haley. Hopefully, and I'm not really holding my breath on this because we know how the United Nations is, but hopefully this is a breath of fresh air for the UN, and they're going to start being, as Nikki Haley says, more symmetrical with their resolution passing, saying that if they think Israel does something wrong, they also should condemn Hamas to keep it balanced, because it's a complex issue, and it's not just Israel that's doing wrong. It's also Hamas or the surrounding Arab countries that aren't helping the situation. So this is great. Really excited about this. I will say this, though, and this is on a more serious note. 120 Palestinians have been recorded to have died. Now, that's from Gaza's numbers, so I'm going to trust that that's the body count here. That's really sad, and I really wish that that wasn't the case. That's 120 lives that didn't need to die. But that's not really just Israel's fault. Yeah, IDF soldiers were the ones that shot the bullets that ended up harming these people, but it's not just that. This wasn't a spontaneous event that happened. This was a planned, orchestrated plan by Hamas, a terrorist organization. They put their own civilians at risk to make a political statement, and 120 people died because of that political statement. And I think that that should be condemned, and I really congratulate Nikki Haley for making that bold and courageous step to condemn that action. I really hope that the UN starts to see the truth in this and start backing these kinds of amendments, or just pushing resolutions that condemn Hamas, which they should be. So, we have a second story. The second story is that Nikki Haley has decided to pull out of the Human Rights Council. Let's go ahead and hear what she has to say about this.
For too long, the Human Rights Council has been a protector of human rights abusers and a cesspool of political bias. Regrettably, it is now clear that our call for reform was not heeded. Human rights abusers continue to serve on and be elected to the Council. The world's most inhumane regimes continue to escape scrutiny, and the Council continues politicizing and scapegoating of countries with positive human rights records in an attempt to distract from the abusers in their ranks.
Now, she's completely right with all of this. The United Nations targets Israel unfairly, unjustly, all the time, and frankly, it's really hypocritical of them. Some countries that voted to investigate Israel for its actions during the Gaza border riot were Egypt, Qatar, Cuba, Venezuela, Saudi Arabia. Now, all of these countries, in their own way, have committed atrocious human rights violations, from Saudi Arabia still stoning women and throwing homosexuals off of roof buildings just for being gay. Now, that's awful enough. And isn't Venezuela the country right now that people are eating dogs in the streets because they have a corrupt government? Funny how they're targeting Israel for human rights violations. It really sounds like the pot calling the kettle black. I'd like to close on one thing. Thank you, Nikki Haley. You are amazing. You are a champion of human rights. You are standing up for the little guy in the world when the rest of the world is after them. And the JIJ is very much appreciative of your actions. If you need anything, if you happen to see this video and you would like to like it, that would be great, Miss Haley. The JIJ is here to help you in any way you need. Our staff here is researching constantly, and we're specifically talking all the time about the UN bias against Israel. If you need anything, just shoot us an email. Our contact information is at the end of all of our videos, and we would definitely like to help you in your good fight. We're going to be talking about the courageous Nikki Haley, the United Nations, and the Human Rights Council a little farther down the line, and we're going to give you updates on this story as more stuff comes out. So thank you for watching. My name is Jared White. This is JNEWS. Hey there. I hope you liked this video. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and YouTube at Jerusalem Institute of Justice to get more videos like this. Make sure to hit that subscription button and hit the little notifying bell to be notified of upcoming videos. Also, follow us on Twitter at JIJ_Israel. And of course, go onto our website at jij.org to read all their articles and other things that we post. Comments, feedback, and fatwas are all appreciative here, so bring in the hate mail. Comments, feedback, and fatwas are all welcome here, so make sure to let us know what you think. Comments, feedback, and fatwas are all welcome here, so let us know what you think in the comment section wherever you are on the internet. Alright, this is JNEWS. I'm Jared White. Comments, feedback, fatwas, they're all appreciative here, so let us know what you think in the comment section of wherever you are on the internet. So, my name is Jared White, this is JNEWS.